Sometimes you might find yourself walking through a dense, intimidating forest. The path is barely visible, and every shadow seems to whisper doubts. Your heart pounds with fear, and every instinct screams at you to find a safer, clearer way. But then, something deep inside nudges you to keep going. This inner push, this quiet insistence, is your faith. It's not about what you can see or even what you feel in the moment. Faith is about trusting in something greater than yourself, something beyond the immediate fears and visible obstacles. It's about holding on to a belief that there's a plan for your life, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. You might feel like giving up when emotions run high. Fear, anxiety, and doubt can cloud your judgment, urging you to retreat to familiar ground. But faith whispers a different message. It tells you to forge ahead, to trust in a guidance that isn't visible to the eye but is felt deeply in the heart. Walking by faith and not by sight isn't just a nice saying, it's a deliberate choice. It means choosing to rely on what you believe rather than what you see. This choice isn't always easy. In fact, it can be downright terrifying, but it's also where you find true growth and strength. Think about those moments when you've pressed on despite your fears. You were actually walking by faith. You were making a choice to trust in something beyond your current understanding. This is the essence of faith, believing in God and His promises, even when your surroundings suggest otherwise. In the Bible, Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6 says, "And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him." This verse underscores the importance of faith in the Christian walk. It's not just about believing in God's existence, it's about trusting in His goodness and His timing. When you walk by faith, you step into a life filled with blessings and the promise of something amazing. It's like signing up for an adventure where each step forward is guided by divine hands. Sure, there are moments of doubt and fear, but they are overshadowed by the peace and assurance that come from trusting in God. This peace is profound. It's a peace that surpasses all understanding, as described in Isaiah chapter 26 verse 3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. It's a peace that fills you when you fix your gaze not on your problems, but on God's promises. As you face your own winding paths and shadow-filled forests, remember that walking by faith is about more than overcoming fear. It's about embracing a journey where each step is an act of trust, a commitment to a path laid out by a higher power. This journey may not always be easy, but it is undoubtedly worth every step. Now, let's think about those doors you never knew existed. God has a knack for opening them when you walk by faith. It's fascinating, isn't it? Just when you think there's no way forward, a new opportunity pops up out of nowhere. These aren't just random chances, they're signs of divine guidance. God aligns these moments perfectly with His will for your life, ensuring that every step you take furthers His plan. Imagine Abraham again. He's a prime example of what it means to walk by faith. God told him to leave everything familiar behind and go to a place he didn't even know. Abraham could have hesitated, weighed his options, or let fear keep him stuck, but he didn't. He moved with conviction, guided solely by his trust in God's word. That's faith in action, moving forward even when the destination isn't clear. And it's not just about going places physically. When you let go of your need to control and allow God to lead, you might find yourself on paths you'd never considered, meeting people who bring blessings into your life, or discovering opportunities that perfectly fit your needs and dreams. This is God's guidance at work, the kind that crafts a story you couldn't have written better yourself. Now, let's talk about miracles, the extraordinary, the inexplicable. When you truly embrace faith, you open the door to events that defy all human reasoning. Remember the woman with the issue of blood? Her story wasn't just about healing, it was a testament to the power of faith put into action. Doctors had given up on her, but she reached out in faith, and instantly, her story changed. Miracles like these aren't just ancient tales. They are alive today in the lives of those who dare to believe. Faith isn't passive. It's as active as that woman reaching out to touch the hem of Jesus' garment. It's about doing your part and letting God handle the impossible. And when He does, it's nothing short of mind-blowing. Then there's the story of Sarah and Abraham, beyond childbearing age, yet promised a child by God. Think about that for a moment. It sounds impossible, right? But at age 91, Sarah bore Isaac, fulfilling God's promise. This wasn't just a miracle, it was a declaration of God's faithfulness. What seemed impossible by human standards became possible with God. This is what you tap into when you walk by faith. You're not just hoping for good outcomes, you're stepping into a realm where the supernatural becomes your reality. It's about expecting the unexpected and watching as God turns the improbable into the possible. With faith, you also gain a new kind of strength, a divine strength for overcoming obstacles. This isn't about muscling through on your own, it's about drawing power from an infinite source. God doesn't just offer a temporary fix, He provides lasting strength that propels you to victory. And with each step of faith, your confidence grows. Not just self-confidence, but a deep-seated assurance that comes from knowing God is with you. He's fighting your battles, guiding your steps, and leading you to a place of victory. So why rely on your own sight or emotions when you can walk by faith and experience the fullness of life God intends for you? Let's talk about David a bit more. Remember how David faced Goliath? It wasn't just about the size of the giant or the battle itself, it was about the size of his faith. David looked at Goliath and saw an opportunity to show God's power. His weapon? A simple sling and a few stones. It may have seemed foolish to everyone else, but David knew something they didn't. He knew that with God on his side, he could take on even the mightiest of foes. You see, when David stepped onto that battlefield, he set aside his fear and focused on his faith. He didn't listen to the doubts or the fearful whispers around him. Instead, he trusted in God's protection and strength. That trust wasn't misplaced. As you know, David emerged victorious, proving that obstacles can be overcome when you lean on your faith in God. Now, this story is not just an old tale, it's a vivid reminder for you today. It's about looking beyond what you can see and focusing on what you believe. When you face your own giants, whatever they may be, remember that God is with you. He can guide you through battles and challenges, no matter how impossible they seem. Continuing with this idea of faith, let's explore how it fills you with hope and a deep sense of fulfillment. When you choose to live by faith, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Faith opens up a wellspring of hope that keeps you pushing forward even when things get tough. This hope is not just about wishing for the best, it's about expecting God's best because you trust in His promises. And it's this hope that fuels your dreams and aspirations. It's like trading short-term fixes for a permanent and divine promise. It keeps you steady in the storm and calm in the chaos. This hope is deeply rooted in God's plan for your life, a plan to give you a future filled with purpose and peace. Living by faith means you're part of a bigger story, God's story. It's about finding your place in His plan and knowing that you're here for a reason. This realization brings an unusual transformation. It changes how you see the world, how you prioritize your life, and how you interact with others. Suddenly, you're not just living, you're living with purpose. And this transformation leads to fulfillment. Feeling fulfilled isn't about achieving everything on your personal checklist. It's about aligning your life with God's will and finding joy in it. It's the kind of fulfillment that fills you to the brim and overflows to those around you. Now, let's talk about those eternal rewards. Walking by faith is like investing in eternity. The rewards aren't fleeting, they are everlasting. According to the Bible, faith will be rewarded with crowns in heaven. These aren't just any rewards, they're the kind that last forever, the kind that matter in the grand scheme of things. 2 Corinthians 5:7 sums it up beautifully. For we live by faith, not by sight. This verse is a powerful reminder to keep your eyes fixed on the unseen, on the eternal, rather than getting caught up in the visible and temporary trials of this world. So, why not take that leap of faith today? Step out of your comfort zone, like Abraham and Noah did. Face down your fears and let your faith guide you. It's not always going to be easy, but I promise you, it will be worth it. Watch as God moves in ways you never thought possible, performing miracles and transforming your life beyond your wildest dreams. God bless you as you walk this path of faith.